and a Mystic Murmook, or a Mustic.
Okay.
Other than that, again, I mean, it's got a Bad Penny and a Vinda.
Oh man, if that's your combo, you're relying on.
It also has a Brend of the Fanatic. There's nothing.
Okay, ping it 3 times with your Vinda.
Yeah, I mean,
Steal 3.
Song of the Wild, I mean, that actually probably isn't too bad. Song of the Wild, I mean, it does have a decent number of untamed creatures. Poe's Pixies, Kangafant, Rustnar, a Murmook, 2 Molfiends, 2 Imprinted Murmooks, and a Bramble.
Okay, so not the worst.
Not the worst. Shadows is just, I mean, it's got a Hawk, Hugger Mugger, Inky Gloom. Nothing too special. And then there's Brobnar. And it's got a Volcano. It does have a Blood Money, which surprised me, but nothing too crazy. I'll leave the links for all these down in the description below. So after I saw that, I'm like, I can't choose. There's no way I can choose that. That's just one of the things that's not happening.
So what about your Coda then?
So I go to Coda, and I open up probably one of the most interesting decks, and there's only one other person I know that has a deck like this, and I'm trying to find it, and I think this is... Nope, that's not it. I don't remember the name of it. Sorry, I'm a little ill-prepared here. I probably should have been better prepared.
Oh, it's Researcher of the Dreamy Moon.
Yeah, Einhardt, Researcher of the Dreamy Moon, which is a time traveler horseman deck.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Which I'm like, oh, okay, I'm interested. Because I went right from Worlds Collide to Coda. Because I'm like, there's nothing going to be of value in AOA. I mean, it's got a Mother.
Dude, this deck looks good. You got the Cleansing Wave for your Horseman of Famine. You got the Phase Shift, Control the Weak.
Problem is, just
Broken Dreams.
we really lack in one area. Now, it's a 71 SAS, 66 Arc, 6 Synergies, 1 Anti-Synergy. It just doesn't have enough Ember Control. And that's what we'll get into a little bit here in a little bit. How much Ember Control is too much Ember Control? Because then I go into my next deck, and I crack it open. And the reason that it's funny is because I was talking with Dan. We were both driving down. We drove down together. And I said, wouldn't it be funny, because we were talking about decks that could possibly take down, like a Genka deck for when Vault Warrior fires up. I said, a really good, Grump Buggy proc deck would be interesting, I think. Because, they get to forge a key, but it's still at plus a kajillion, so that really stops the key abduction. And I pull one, and I'm like, no. So now I'm stuck in this difficult situation. Again, this is a 61 SAS, 54 Arc with 7 Anti-Synergies. I'm stuck in this really bad situation of, do I play AOA or do I play Coda? I've got a deck here that seems really good. It seems super fast. But is it going to be able to stop somebody when it needs to be stopped? Or do I want to play
the Grump
Buggy proc deck, which do I want to sit here and be super grindy and go to time every round?
Go to time. No thanks. But what do? You picked the AOA deck?
I picked the AOA deck. And I've made my choice. I've gone and scanned it in, and I'm like, all right, I made my choice. I can send it out to the masses now. I send it to our chat, and I get everyone. Z's telling me you made the right choice. I would have gone with the Grump Buggy deck. And I'm like, really? You of all people, you would have gone with the Grump Buggy deck? He's like, yeah. And Eric later on's like, yeah, I would have gone with the Grump Buggy deck too. And you didn't answer. So which one? Well, you know the results. So which one would you have gone with?
I didn't answer because mine was contrary to what they had said. I would have picked the Coda deck. Even if there's not enough Amber Control, the AOA deck just looks bad. It doesn't look that good. It does have proc. It does have Grump Buggy.
Right.
But those are the only cool cards. It has Life Ward, which is good.
Sanctum doesn't have a lot of... Yeah, it's got Life Ward Hysteria, too, which drew me to it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to bounce all your creatures and make sure you can't play anything.
And the first thing you said about this is that, I'm going to go to time at the end of every round, and whenever you go to time, literally anybody can win.
Right, and that's the
so
problem.
It becomes a toss-up, and that's not what I want to do in a little tournament.
And that's literally what it came down to.
It's a toss-up every game.
It was a toss-up.
Do I sit there for 35 minutes?
35. It's sealed, man. 45.
Oh my gosh, 45 minutes.
Just
the time every round?
Every round but one.
Oh my gosh.
And at that point I was 1-2, and the deck really just walked over the guy who was also 1-2. So he didn't stand a prayer, but I'm just looking at it. I'm like, all right, it's got Aban the Armor Smith. That's kind of cool. Not a 5-power creature. But it's got Borden the Redeemed. Again, not a 5-power creature, but kind of cool. Captures 2. But I do have a Lion. He deploys and gives people +2 power. That'll work. I do have Hedron's Wall in here, too, giving my flank creatures +2 power. That's kind of cool. So I could make this work. I mean, I had a 6-power Tesmo at one point.
Oh, dang.
So, I mean, I could make this work. And I mean, I'll tell you what, after looking at its SAS and being 61, I'm pretty proud that I piloted this deck to 3-2, because it could have been much worse. After that, I drove with Dan. So I was playing, I'm like, look, I want to play my other deck against some people who are now getting bounced out of the top 8. You play your deck. I want to play my other deck. See how it feels.
Your Horseman Time Traveler
deck. My Horseman Time Traveler deck. And ooh-wee. That deck was just like fucking butter. Just smooth.
That's awesome.
So smooth. And I'm like, man, I know it's only a 66 arc, but this deck is just so smooth. Like, it runs itself. There was not many times where I had to go, and think about it. Like, it was crazy. Like, how smooth the deck ran. And, and I'm like, well, I made the completely wrong decision. That's awesome. I'm not allowed to play sealed anymore. I'm just going to make that determination for myself. I'm never again allowed to play sealed.
You open up a Horseman Time Traveler deck, and you say, no, I want AOA.
Which is, I mean, for me, of all people, the one who, for 6 months, said AOA is just hot trash. Don't play it. Stop buying it. And I get this, and what do? I go, I'm going to play AOA. What a terrible decision maker I am. I even went to the counter going, all right, it's time to make bad decisions, boys. I went up there with my phone and my deck list card, and I'm like, let's go make bad decisions.
So how many other people at this event decided to go with AOA?
None.
Got it.
I'm
nice.
pretty sure there. I think we had 30 people there.
That's pretty good.
Pretty sure. I'm sure somebody else did. Right. I'm almost positive somebody else.
If you had like a Martian Generosity Key Abduction deck,
no, I didn't see any. If I had the Genka deck, would I have considered it? Is that what you're asking?
No, I was saying like I would have considered playing AOA if it was that, but that's like one of the only reasons I consider playing AOA.
Right. Well, the one reason looking at this deck, and again, if you guys are watching along and you're on a PC, I'll try to remember to put the deck list down below. 3 First Bloods. Not bueno.
Sounds like a reversal deck.
It is an alpha card. 3 of them, all in the same house. I actually got to fire a couple of these off, believe that or not. Because, I mean, the creatures are so sticky in here. That, I fired 2 of them off, I'm pretty sure, multiple times. Dealing like 6 damage, kill him, kill him, kill him. But you want to know what was the bane of this deck? What really kills a solid Grump Buggy deck? Red Alert.
Board clears? Yeah, Red Alert.
Destroyed me. I was playing against Nick, and he told me he was holding the card a whole game, just waiting for Battle Lines, what was going to happen. And sure enough, I got a supreme advantage over him, thinking I finally stabilized, because I didn't find my Grump Buggy till late. Finally, I'm stabilizing. He's not going to be able to forge. And I'm going to be able to maybe pull this thing out of my butthole. And then he plays Red Alert, dealing 11 damage to all my creatures.
Oh, gosh. 11 damage.
Yeah. And I'm like, how? I can't stop that. Even with a bond was even out. So I'm like, all right, so it's only really 10 to everything. So, yep, no, that's everything dead except for Lollop. So GG. Have a good one. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still, to this day, I'm thinking, man, I made the wrong decision. I should have just played Time Traveler.
When you play sealed, like when it comes to deck selection, I always have a bias towards board clears because in sealed decks, they're usually bad. And so you end up having large board states, a bunch of creatures. And if you can destroy the board and like reset your opponent when it gets out of control, that's amazing. And that's exactly what happened to you, especially with Grump Buggy, which wants to have that big board.
Right.
Painful.
I mean, I learned from it game 2 when I went up against Neil from the Key Chargers. But again, it was one that went down to time, and it's like, I have to find a way to gain 4 Ember. Can't do it. And that, it didn't matter at that point because, once time hits, Grump Buggy is no longer a thing. Grump Buggy is dead. Proc's dead.
Yeah.
Everything's gone. It doesn't matter anymore. So I was like, oh. So I don't know. I'm almost thinking, and I know people are going to say I'm biased to it, but I'm almost thinking, man, maybe we reconsider how tiebreakers are done. Like, instead of forging a key just at 6 no matter what, because you made a whole set. Now we're going into almost another set where instead of like steel and all this stuff, you're making keys cost more. But again, at the end of the day, when you go to time, none of that matters. So, like, you're literally... And we had one instant, I told JR, Ewok Jr., on the Discord for you guys, he was playing in the Prime the week previous, and his opponent literally said, I'm just not going to draw until time's called. I'm just going to let it run to time. And I'm like, dude, that's where you go judge.
Yeah, definitely.
But he didn't. It's a Prime championship, whatever. So I'm just kind of like, I mean, people are coming to the understanding right now that going to time, depending on where you sit, has definite advantages to, letting the game play out.
Yeah, it's bad. And I think it was worse when we had AOA as our main thing because those games are just so grindy. But the hope with Worlds Collide is that things are going to go a lot faster. Games decided before the 35-minute mark.
Right.
And if they need a revision, I think like FFG's definitely at a point where they would consider that, make a change.
Yeah, I mean, because literally you've got whole decks based around letting your opponent not forge a key. It seems kind of counterintuitive to say like, well, you got to forge a key at 6. I mean, I guess it's only 1. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm crazy. So that leads us into the discussion, and I want to know from everybody out there, from you guys listening, leave a comment, come on the Discord, let me know. Grant, how much Ember Control is too much Ember Control?
It's a good question. Well, I think it depends on what's your strategy for games. Like when you can take the example of your sealed decks, you had this what looks to be really fast time traveler horseman deck, and then this grindy proclamation Grump Buggy deck, and you decided to play defense. You wanted to get all the amber control that you could.
But Grant, I've been told my entire life defense wins championships. Except
maybe in a different sport.
Except in Keyforge.
Yeah, not in Keyforge. Because like, look at a lot of the decks that are winning. Fraud, Gasoline, Nathan's deck, Olivier. That thing, they're fast. And so, like, I have a whole set of criteria for amber control. Like, you need to know how much do you have? How is it distributed between the houses? Is it quality amber control?
I was going to say, a lot of the times when I'm looking at it, I got to ask myself, is this real ember control? Or is this just something that counts as an A, but, in reality?
Like, you have 3 tiers of quality of amber control. You have the terrible situational stuff. Well, it's not terrible. It's just bad because it's situational. Like, take that Smarty Pants.
Yep.
Steal 2 if your opponent has 3 logos creatures or cards.
Cutthroat Research.
Cutthroat Research. Or that dinosaur that says capture 10. Even from yourself. That stuff is bad because oftentimes when you have that card, that situation isn't present.
Right.
Then you have the mid-tier of things that often hit that are good, like Shu